Hello students. In the previous lectures, we have discussed about speed and velocity and their types. Today, we are going to discuss some numerical problems and some important questions based on speed and velocity. So let's start with the first question. The question is, what is the numerical ratio of the average velocity to the average speed of the object moving along a straight line path? We know that velocity is displacement upon time and speed is distance upon time. Fine. Now, if the object is moving in a straight line like this, in one direction, in a straight line, in that case, the distance and the displacement, they both are same. So, if the displacement and the distance, they both are same, in that case, velocity is equal to the speed. That's why their ratio becomes 1:1. Clear? I'm repeating again. Velocity is displacement upon time, speed is distance upon time. Moving in a straight path, displacement and distance, they both are same. So the velocity and speed, these two quantities are also same. So the ratio becomes 1:1. So the numerical ratio becomes 1:1. Fine. Second question. Second question is, a van accelerates uniformly and its velocity changes from 5 meter per second to 25 meter per second in time t. Find the average velocity. Now we have the formula that average velocity is the arithmetic mean of initial and the final velocity. U is initial velocity, V is final velocity, upon 2 means mean of these two velocities. So the initial velocity is 5 meter per second. Final velocity is 25 meter per second. So the average becomes 5 plus 25 upon 2, which is equal to 30 upon 2, means 15 meter per second. Clear? I am repeating again. Average velocity is the arithmetic mean of initial and the final velocity. Initial velocity is 5 meter per second. Final is 25 meter per second. So the mean becomes 15 meter per second. Clear? Third question is, a girl rides a bicycle with a speed of 10 km per hour for 2 hours. Fine. For this case, speed is 10 km per hour and time is 2 hours. Let it be V1 and T1. Fine. And the distance, we know that speed is equals to distance upon time. V1 is equals to D1 upon T1. D1 becomes V1 into T1, which will be equal to 10 into 2, 20 kilometers. Clear? Next, and 15 kilometers per hour for next 3 hours. Means V2 is 15 kilometers per hour. Fine. And time is 3 hours. In this case, V2 becomes D2 upon T2, or you can say D2 is equals to V2 into T2. It becomes 15 into 3, 45 kilometer. Clear? Now the question is, find the distance moved. So the total distance is 20 plus 45. So the total distance is 20 plus 45, it becomes 65 kilometers. Clear? And the average speed is total distance upon total time, which will be equal to, total distance is 65 upon total time is 2 hours plus 3 hours becomes 5 hours. Fine. So cut it, it becomes 13. So average speed becomes 13 kilometer per hour. Fine. I am repeating again. Question was, a girl rides a bicycle with a speed of 10 kilometer per hour for 2 hours. So we have calculated distance in the first case. So D1 becomes V1 into T1. So the first distance is 20 kilometer per hour. Second case, 15 kilometer per hour for next 3 hours. So time is 3 hours. So second distance becomes 45 kilometer. Total distance becomes 45 and 20, that is 65 kilometer. Average velocity becomes total distance upon total time. So total distance becomes 20 plus 45, 65, and total time becomes 2 hours plus 3 hours becomes 5. So it becomes 13 kilometer per hour. So the average speed is 13 kilometer per hour. Now the next question is, a body can have zero average velocity but not zero average speed. Why? We know that the velocity is displacement upon time, but speed is distance upon time. Fine. So let's take an example. Suppose a body starts from this point, reaches to B and returns to the same point A again. Fine. So in this case, because displacement is a vector quantity and according to the definition, displacement is the shortest path between initial and the final position. So A is the initial position and A again is the final position. So displacement becomes 0. So in this case, the average velocity becomes 0. But distance is the total path covered by the body. So distance is not 0. So average speed is positive. Positive means it is a non-zero quantity. So body can have zero average velocity but not zero average speed. Clear? Now fifth question is, even when a body covers equal distances in equal intervals of time, its velocity can be variable. So if the body covers equal distances in equal intervals of time, so it has a constant speed. Fine. Velocity is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity, so it includes direction. Fine. So if the direction of the body, if the direction of the path changes, velocity changes. Suppose a body is moving in a circular path like this. So at every point of this circle, every point of this path, body changes its direction. Fine. So if the body changes its direction, its velocity changes. So means even if the body has constant speed, means it covers equal distances in equal time intervals, the velocity can change. Velocity can be variable. Fine. I am repeating again. Velocity is a vector quantity which includes direction. At every point of this circle, even it covers equal distances in equal interval of time, its direction changes, so the velocity changes. So we can say velocity can be variable in circular path. Fine. Clear? The next question is, a tourist cab goes from Delhi to Agra, means Delhi to Agra in the morning and covers 240 kilometers in 4.5 hours. Fine. So d1 is distance is 240 kilometer and time t1 is 4.5 hours. Fine. Next is the cab returns from Agra to Delhi. Agra to Delhi again. Fine. The side. Time covering the journey is 3.5 hours. Fine. So second distance is again 240 kilometer, but time becomes 3.5 hour. Now the question is calculate the average speed and average velocity of the entire journey. We know that average speed is equals to total distance upon total time. So the total distance is 240 plus 240 upon total time becomes 4.5 plus 3.5, it becomes 480 upon 8, it becomes 60 kilometer per hour. Fine. So the average speed becomes 60 kilometer per hour. But average velocity is total displacement upon total time. Now the cab starts from this point and reaches to the same point again. So displacement is the shortest path between initial and the final position. So here initial and the final position is same. So total displacement becomes 0 and time is 8. So 0 upon 8 it becomes 0 kilometer per hour. So in this case the average speed is 60 kilometer per hour and velocity is 0 kilometer per hour because velocity is a vector quantity. Clear? Thank you.